One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet who millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Everybody they know, they gonna vote for Donald Trump, that's the way it goes. All over America, all over the USA, they voted for Donald Trump, that's what I'm trying to say. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. I want to make America great again.
Woo!
I want to lower the taxes. I want to bring all American business back from overseas back to the USA, baby.
There we go.
Ooh, yeah, Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over, everybody can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country.
And that he is. Donald Trump is the president of this country. And once again, like last night, I had a show all set to go. And then, of course, breaking news hits. And that breaking news that we just found out, well, it happened a little bit a while ago, but you may not have heard it yet. Let me just show you what just happened, or happened a little while ago.
A ruling based on the Associated Press saying this a moment ago. The judge has delayed a ruling on whether or not to dismiss President-elect Donald Trump's criminal conviction. These are 34 counts that came in at the end of May 30th. And the former president's been fighting it ever since. And the judge is going to sentence him prior to the election, then delayed it given the election itself. And so this is the ruling here. Just reading from the AP. A New York State judge has paused proceedings in the already decided criminal case on charges stemming from the hush money paid to a porn star. All right. The document reads, the judge had been set to decide by today whether or not the conviction could be vacated due to the ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court midsummer back in July on presidential immunity. Trump had also been scheduled to be sentenced on November 26. So this now is a whole new ball of wax.
they're not going to give up. They are going to continue going after Donald Trump because that's all they can do. They realize that everything slipped through their fingers last Tuesday, 7 days, last week from today. It's all over for them, completely all over. But they're holding on with dire fingers, scratching, digging in, trying to find whatever way they can to stop Donald Trump. This man will be president in, 69, 68 days or whatever, and barring something crazy happening, like this guy sentenced him to go to jail, they can't stop it. He has no grounds to basically enhance the criminal case against him anymore. The Supreme Court basically eviscerated the big parts of the evidence that they put in. They can't use. The entire thing is a sham. It has to be completely vacated. Just so you know, we have heard for the last couple months everybody on various media saying that Donald Trump is a convicted felon of 34 different counts. That is probably the biggest, one of the biggest misinformation drops that everyone in the media keeps putting out there. You're not convicted, regardless of what everybody says, until you are sentenced. They never, ever put that out there. Oh, he's convicted. No, the jury convicted him. The judge at this point still has the ability to decide which way he wants to go. And at this point, given all the evidence, this isn't going anywhere. And he's just prolonging the pain, doing whatever his puppet masters have told him to do. Hey, just delay it. We got to figure out how we can use this to our advantage. And what we're seeing now are some people in the media trying to figure out what they can do to somehow keep things going, keep the lawfare going. They're grasping at straws. But if it helps them, whatever the nefarious means are, they're going to keep trying. Listen to this.
Well, first, it is an absolute disgrace that Donald Trump seems like he's going to escape accountability for his federal cases because of the DOJ policy that DOJ cannot prosecute a sitting president. This was very clearly what Trump's primary goal was in running for president, was to evade that accountability. And already we've seen indications from Jack Smith that he's going to do that. But it does not mean that we...
So that's what you're saying was his primary reason for running for president, was to evade these charges. Again, MSNBC, that's why they're cutting bait with you. That's why they're looking to sell off your network. A story at 7 o'clock tonight. We're going to talk about what's going on in the media because, oh my God. But you just made something up out of thin air. You have no idea. Donald Trump has not told you at all the reason. Actually, he did. He said he was running for president to save America. You decided you were going to say what Trump is really running for, why he's really running for president. Or actually, I should say that, why he is now president-elect. Deal with it, suckers. There's nothing you can do about it. You can keep playing the game over and over, wondering how you lost, how you dropped the pass, how you missed the wide open man in the field. You can keep replaying it in your mind all you want. 7 days later, you're still running over, oh my God, how could this have happened? And now you're shifting from that into, we got to find some way to keep trying to fight Trump.
You should not get a full accounting of the conduct, including in a report. And I agree with Chairman Jordan. We should know everything about this investigation. We should know whether or not there was any coordination with the Attorney General Garland or President Biden. Remember, this is the Biden Department of Justice that prosecuted President Biden's son, Hunter Biden. So this notion of lawfare or weaponization is pure projection and total bunk. But I agree. I think that Congress is...
In your opinion, lawfare is total bunk. So all these cases against Trump that are getting thrown out, dismissed, how can you possibly say that they're bunk? Or being debunked, whatever word you want to use, because it's not true. He should know, I believe this man was a lawyer, that if a case gets thrown out, it's not because of its bunk, it's because it was improperly filed, somebody did something wrong, corruption. You can go ahead and pick whatever thing it was, but something was defective in that lawsuit.
Role is to understand everything about the special counsel's investigations of Donald Trump. And so I do hope Chairman Jordan goes forward with that investigation.
So they want to use Jordan's rules against him. They want to say Jim Jordan wants to look into things. Well, let's go ahead and look into the Trump stuff. Good luck with that. I mean, seriously, good luck with that. That ain't going to happen. These people are licking their wounds and they're not understanding everything that they've tried to do has failed. Everything. Including July 13th. Including the guy squirming around in the grass at a golf course. The only thing that did was prevent Trump from playing golf anywhere. But now, you got 60-something days. That's it. Get ready. Stop complaining. You got nothing. You lost the White House, you lost the Senate, and you lost the House. Now you're a sideline player. Now you just have to watch as everything else goes on. And my God, if you lose MSNBC and CNN, I don't know what y'all gonna do. So after he did that, then you hear this guy from the ACLU. None of them want to stop. None of them. Here we go again.
Let's start with mass deportation. Donald Trump has vowed to use an 18th century law that is on the books still, that would allow him to do it. I think it's the Alien Enemies Act. The Alien Enemies Act. So that's on the books. Right. How would you stop him?
Now, this guy is an attorney for the ACLU. So they're trying to figure out some way, how do you stop all these deportations? As far as I know, the Constitution says the president handles, all forms of immigration and deportations. But now, they didn't do it with Obama. They didn't do it with Bush. They didn't do it with Biden. Now you want to stop Trump from deporting people. This is how desperate these people are.
So we think it would be illegal to use it for immigration. The law is very clear that it has to be a foreign government doing an invasion. That's not what's involved in immigration. So we have been preparing since the winter time for this challenge if he actually does go ahead and use it. And so we will say that there's no foreign government attacking us. There's no invasion. These are immigrants looking for safety, looking for a better life. This is not what that was intended to do. This is a law that was used during Japanese internment and only declared wars. It's really unthinkable to try and use it for immigration.
So that's what they're planning at this point, saying, you can't do this. It's not the same thing. It's not, can't say invasion. It's not an invasion. I guess you didn't read the entirety of the clause when you decided to sit down with what may be a soon former network. You see, nobody really wants to look at the law. Trump can do it. He controls immigration. He can use that 1798 statute, and guess what? He can determine it's an invasion. Who you think they're going to let the ACLU determine whether or not it's an invasion? These people were not asylum seekers. That's what AOC tried to say as well. You have to understand, they are not asylum seekers. Asylum seekers like my dad, who actually wasn't asylum, he just applied, and his family. You come through the front door. You come through the front door, you assimilate, you have to go through the classes, you have to do all the stuff. You don't just kick in the back door and just scurry about the country. That's not asylum. You got a losing argument going already right there. So, that was the pre-show. Now let's get into the actual meat of everything. You see, now what's happening is Trump is making these appointments. And he's making some shadow appointments. And he's making some head fakes. And nobody seems to really know what's going on. Including yours truly. I'm not on the inside. I don't know what's going on. I'm looking from afar. And I'm like, as I showed you in the thumbnail, there's some chess going on here. And the more chess he plays, and the more people he announces this, announces that, or doesn't announce this, or doesn't announce that, the media is already freaking out. I mean, just to the point where they don't know how to react. This was the reaction they had to Stephen Miller.
Basement theory. Maria, what does this mean for America to have him in Donald Trump's ear?
I think it's one of the most concerning picks that we have seen thus far, Sarah. Not surprising, but incredibly concerning, not just because of all of the clips that you just ran, but because we know that this is somebody who does not believe that this country should be open or should be welcoming of any immigrants, frankly.
Again, this is how they get themselves in trouble. They're just making stuff up. I've never heard Stephen Miller say one time that no immigrants could come in. You see, they try to use vocabulary. They try to do everything they can to obfuscate the facts. They keep calling them immigrants. They keep calling them undocumented immigrants. They've changed the language on America. And as long as you can change the language and nobody ever pushes back, you can try to influence people. You try to scam them, gaslighting. No one on this panel here at CNN is going to tell her the truth and go, wait a second, they're not immigrants. Well, what are they? They're illegal immigrants. They're not allowed to be here. But they never, it just flows out of their mouth. You know, he's just against immigration. He hates immigrants.
And what's going to be interesting is moving forward, he said that they're going to start mass deportation on day one. And that is going to be, first of all, it has already injected terror, chaos, fear, division among so many immigrants and...
No, that's not true. I know immigrants. I employ some immigrants. There's no fear. There's no terror. Because they did it the right way. Again, just influencing you, trying to tell you this is what was really happening, and she probably doesn't even know any. She's up in New York, wherever they are, Washington, D.C. Show me these immigrants who are in a state of terror. They're completely, oh my God, I can't believe. No. Now, if you modify what you said to say what they really are, if you used the actual nomenclature of what these people are, then maybe I would believe you. But that's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to encompass everybody. Everybody who's ever come from another country and is here is full of terror. Because that is complete gaslighting. And you're talking on another network that, about to get sold off.
Communities of color around the country. I've got so many calls and texts from my friends who are terrified about...
Why would a community of color, black person, be worried about getting deported? What in the hell is she talking about? And again, CNN reporter just nods. Your job is to shut the hell up and let the person talk that we brought on. We're paying you to be basically a mannequin. Yep. What black people are terrified? I'm black. My family's black. Who?
What is going to happen, even people who are here with legal status, because I don't think that at the end of the day they're going to really make any kind of distinction between the criminal undocumented, which, by the way, the criminal undocumented are being deported. That is a policy that is being adhered to. But it also, I think, indicates that there's a lot of talk here, Sarah, and it's going to be very improbable that they're going to really be able to do this from a policy standpoint and from a budgetary standpoint. So we'll see what happens. But right now, it has only injected fear and terror in America's communities.
In America's communities, fear and terror because there might be deportations. How much fear and terror are in American communities that have had to subject them or be subjected to these criminal undocumented who have showed up and decided they were going to be landlords without acquiring any property? How much fear and terror has there been injected into communities where their loved ones have been used as, piñatas, you know what? I can't wait to start doing stuff on Rumble so I can actually tell you these things. But it's amazing to me is that they think people are freaking out when, again, all you have to do is hold up the map. You can just hold. They don't have any idea about looking at the scoreboard and going, wow, we just got our ass stomped. 312 to 220 something. We got destroyed. You think America has fear in their communities now because of deportation? Don't you think they elected the guy who they expect to help them leave that fear? They weren't afraid of deportations. They were afraid of people not being deported, you moron. That's exactly what they wanted. That's why they ran up the score on Kamala. That was one of Trump's biggest things. Hey, listen, on day one, I'm going to start the deportations. That's my guy. There was no fear in those votes. You can look at the scoreboard. Look at the map. Red. So where was this fear that you're talking about? They make it up. They just make it up. The people who should be fearful should be fearful. Not people who are here legally, but if you're not here legally, maybe you should be fearful. You know, there's a remedy for that. There is an absolute remedy. If you're terrified, she said full of terror, if you're terrified that they're going to round you up and deport you, there is a remedy that you control. Step. You won't have to worry about it. Well, just go. Go now. You don't have to be afraid. I know if I was afraid of something, I wouldn't do it. So if you're afraid and you're watching this and you're worried that, some guys in paddy wagons are going to show up and they're going to handcuff you and pull you out of the house or wherever you're living, or, remove you from your apartment investment because now that you own this apartment complex, if you're worried about that, I suggest you hop in a car, head for the border. Then you won't have to worry. You won't be terrorized. You'll be fine. Everything's good. That's what you need to do. Turn off CNN, number one, because she's full of crap. You don't have to listen to that. Just go ahead and turn it off and go. This isn't an airport. You don't have to make any reservations. You don't have to do any announcements. Just step. That's all you got to do. Now, let's talk about Donald Trump. And I had put this up as my thumbnail. And it's a picture, obviously, as you can see, a picture of Donald Trump, or a rendering of Donald Trump playing chess. I couldn't get one of 3D chess, so I had to use regular chess. And a shit-eating grin on his face as he's playing chess. Because he's doing something. He is most assuredly up to something. I want you to hear this from Corey Lewandowski, who is now working with Trump as part of his transition team, because it's interesting what he says here and everything about how this transition team is actually working. Listen to this.
There's John Thune and John Cornyn, who are seen as more establishment, maybe a little Trump hesitant or not. And then Senator Rick Scott from Florida, who, yeah, I see you smiling. Rick Scott seems to want to go all in on MAGA. He's the one on the far right there, literally and figuratively, I guess. And Elon Musk has jumped in, as I mentioned. He's now tweeting out that you need someone who's for recess appointments so that while the Senate goes into recess shortly after the inaugural for a few days, Donald Trump can staff this thing up, as you were saying, and get going from day one and beyond. And I noticed that yesterday, after Musk tweeted that and the president-elect retweeted and talked about it, John Thune immediately said, I'm for recess appointments. How do you assess this race?
All right, before he assesses that race, I've gotten a lot of emails and DMs. Barry, what the hell is a recess appointment? I've never heard of this thing, recess appointment. So let's take a second and answer that question real quick so people understand what exactly is a recess appointment, how is it used, when is it used, and everything like that. Okay, this is from Vox. It was yesterday. Trump is demanding an important change to the Senate confirmation process. That headline right there is a lie. It is not a change to the Senate confirmation process. So I'm going to jump ahead in this article way down. Before I tell you what it is, I'm going to jump way down here, because here is where they get to it. As you saw me scroll, this is where they get to the point where they're actually telling you about this so-called change, which isn't a change at all. Let me zoom in here. Okay. With the exception of Trump and President Joe Biden, recent presidents have made use of recess appointments. According to Congressional Research Service, Barack Obama made 32 recess appointments, Bill Clinton made 139 recess appointments, and George W. Bush made 171 recess appointments. So if that's the case, why are you saying that it's an important change? It's common. It's been done. It is a tool that a president uses. So what is a recess appointment? And they're complaining it could be a major blow to the system of checks and balances. We don't care. He's got a mandate. It was a landslide. All right. President-elect Donald Trump is pushing for the next Senate Majority Leader. That's what they're running for. To allow recess appointments, which would allow him to install some officials without Senate confirmation. When I started talking about this yesterday or the day before, somebody goes, I don't want Trump to do that because it's not constitutional. Chill. Just chill. It is constitutional. It's 100% constitutional. Typically, the Senate must approve presidential nominations for high-level posts, including cabinet positions, ambassadorships, and inspector general jobs, in a process outlined in the Constitution. This procedure is meant to be a check on presidential power, a way of ensuring officials directly elected by citizens can guard against the appointment of unqualified or corrupt personnel. You gotta love the left, how they just twitch their vocabulary. The Constitution, however, allows for recess appointments, which negates all the other shit you said above. So it's completely legal. All you guys can now rest easy that anything Trump talks about with these recess appointments is a constitutionally allowed procedure. Nothing untoward, nothing bad. A provision that aims to prevent prolonged government vacancies by allowing the president to install officials without Senate approval while Congress is not in session. That's the key. So if Congress isn't in session, then they can go ahead and he can appoint somebody. Don't even need to go through Senate approval. Using such recess appointments, Trump would be able to appoint whoever he'd like without giving the Senate the opportunity to question or object to the pick. Critics of the practice, in this instance the Democrats, note that it increases the risk of unqualified, corrupt, or ideological appointees filling government posts. It also significantly expands presidential power. I didn't see you complaining when Bill Clinton was doing it. Though recess appointments have been used in the past by presidents of both parties, in recent years the Senate has avoided going to extended recesses, blocking presidents from making any appointments in senators' absence. So what they've been doing is they would send in a shill, basically one person who would gavel in, oh, we're having a meeting now. Oh, see, we weren't in recess. You can't use it. Oh, we're going to gavel in a meeting now. No, you can't use any recess appointments. So what Trump is trying to do is say, listen, I need someone who's going to be the majority leader whose name isn't Mitch, because we know Mitch is basically a bish. And we need someone who's not afraid to gavel out the session. Don't do any of this pro forma interim BS. When you're out, you're out. The Constitution has a calendar that says when Congress is in and when it's not. So I'm going to look at if I'm Trump, I'm looking at the calendar, and I'm like, okay, I see they don't get back until X day. Well, previously, let's just use, dates. He gets inaugurated on January 20th. And maybe Congress doesn't come back until February 1st. I don't know the exact dates. So previously, what they do to stop the president from doing something is that they would have some lackey stay around, and, who was appointed by Mitch to gavel in a fake session. Oh, we're here today. All right, now we're not. Because every time he gavels in, then you have a clock that says you can't do something for so many days, after that. I know it sounds complicated. So what Trump is saying is, I need a majority leader who's going to gavel out, y'all on vacation. Boom, you're on vacation. Go. Now let's get to work. Let's go ahead and start appointing people. Let's do what we're doing because these guys are on vacation. Constitutionally, you're on vacation. Go do what you do back home. Well, let's run back in and do an immediate... No, we're not going to do that. Because that's what Mitch would do. He would make it so that people could come in and interrupt the recess. He's basically like a hall monitor. Oh, what you getting ready to do? Oh, nope, can't do it. And so now he wants somebody who's going to be able to gavel out the Congress so that he can appoint constitutionally the people he wants to. The man has a mandate. He controls the House. He controls the Senate. And he's the president. Well, Barry, why wouldn't he just have it, let them go ahead and confirm it? Because they could drag it out forever. If you want to go ahead and have, XYZ person as your Secretary of Defense, the Democrats can go, yeah, well, we're not going to be here for the meeting this week. Let's go ahead and schedule it for March 1st. And then March 1st comes along, didn't work out. Let's do it like April 15th. And they just keep delaying it and different things, and then the person never gets appointed. Trump learned that from his first go around here. He's like, I'm not going there anymore. I am not doing that shit. That ain't happening. I need me. And he probably said to somebody, how do I stop this? Oh, you need a Senate majority leader who's going to do recess appointments. All right, get me one of them. And so Rick Scott says, I'll do it. I will be a MAGA person. I will make sure you have recesses and everybody, is gone. Go do what you need to do. And then Thune and Cornyn got caught off guard because they're Mitch acolytes. And now they're like, well, we'll do it too. Yeah, but why do you need a secret ballot then? Why don't you just make it wide open? Why do you got to hide? So let's exactly see who's a part of this, cabal that wants to stop Trump. So now you know what a recess appointment is. Let's continue with Corey.
Well, look, I think right now, if you look at it just objectively, John Thune is clearly the front runner. But I think, and I've looked at this, if you're a MAGA Republican, you want Rick Scott to go be the majority leader. John Thune is an acolyte of Mitch McConnell. We've seen where Mitch has been in President Trump's first term. Rick Scott is somebody who's going to lead from the front, and he's been very forward-facing about Donald Trump. There hasn't been a lot of negative comments that I've ever seen that Rick Scott's made about Donald Trump. I don't think the same is true with some of the other candidates in this race. This is a secret ballot. It should be an open ballot. I think that everybody in America should know who is voting for whom for the Senate majority leadership. And I really think what should happen, Ed, is they should push this vote back past Wednesday morning so that Donald Trump has an opportunity to address this conference and have the U.S. senators understand exactly what Donald Trump wants.
So that's what he's doing. So tomorrow, big day. I hope it's all televised. So I'll cover it. So tomorrow he's going to go meet with Biden. Let's hope he doesn't eat or drink anything while he's in the White House, because I don't know. So he's going to meet with Biden. Then he's also going to have this conference where he's going to be talking to the senators. And so what they're trying to do right now is let's not do this secret ballot thing on Wednesday. Well, yeah, that's kind of shady, Mitch. Mitch, wake up, Mitch. Oh, okay. Yeah, Mitch, we're not going to do this secret ballot thing. Let's push it back. There's no hurry right now. We got until, I tell you, basically, let's wait a week and do it publicly. What is this? What is the purpose? Which I can't answer for Mitch, and I can't answer logically to any of you why Mitch McConnell would want to have a secret ballot. Why would you not want America to see what each of these senators vote and how they're going to pick, which ones they pick? For what possible reason would you not want to have full transparency on basically the first major incident in the Trump presidency? You're starting at the infancy, the embryonic stage of his presidency, and the very first thing you want to do is hide it from the American people? Does that make any sense to any of you? I can't even fathom that right off the bat. Let's go ahead and do some cloak and dagger BS and keep this from the American people. Every single one of those senators should stand up and say, at minimum, I may not want Rick Scott, but I'm a man or a woman, and I want my vote to be known to the American people. See, I'm not all about this hidden stuff. We're done with this hidden stuff. The man's got a mandate. Stand up and be counted. I vote for so-and-so. Okay, we got you. Next? Yeah. Oh, you're going to vote for somebody? Oh, you don't want it either. I want to know every single person who's opposing Trump on his very first action as president-elect. I think you deserve to know every single senator and where they stand on this huge, huge part of what Trump needs to do. I showed you yesterday RFK Jr., Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, J.D. Vance. Everybody wants Rick Scott. And everybody wants a public accounting. What you got to hide? I need to know. You need to know. Trump needs to know. Who's my opposition here? Who do I got to look out for? And they're terrified. That other woman used the word terrified. That's what terrifying is. These people don't want to cross Trump, and so they'd rather do it in secret so Trump doesn't know. I don't think we need those kind of people in government at all. I think those kind of people in government should just take a hike. If you're afraid to stand up for what you believe, either way, you shouldn't be here.
Which is he wants a partner in the U.S. Senate, not someone who's going to be an obstacle. And so, listen, the conservatives have some real concern about just naming a Mitch McConnell acolyte to take over this role and not having someone there who's there to support the president who's coming with a mandate.
Absolutely. Interesting idea to have the president-elect address these Senate Republicans. We'll see how that plays out.
I love the fact that Trump's going to meet them head on. I'm going to come. We're going to talk, we're going to meet, and I'm going to look you in the eye, man to man, man to woman, because Joni Ernst, Susan Collins, the usual Trump evaders want to look them right in the eye and go, you really going to stop me on this? You're going to get in my way? Be a woman, be a man, tell me. Stand up. It's insane. So the cloak and dagger part of this is the fact of there's so much talk out there right now. This person's been appointed. That person's been appointed. We have this, which is the list of people who have been filled in Trump's cabinet. And since I put this graphic together, there's been one or two more. So I've got here, we've got J.D. Vance, vice president, obviously. We got Susan Wise at the very top. That's his chief of staff. And now, then on the bottom, I believe that's, let's see who that is. That's Lee Zeldin. And that's, on the very bottom, is Elise Stefanik. As of the time I made this, that was it. Which is interesting because, I don't know, I'm seeing on the news, all these people are being named. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, and Kristi Noem, and it's all over X. Except I'm going to show you the people as of 3 o'clock when I went live, the only people at this point who are announced. Okay. This is his announcement about Lee Zeldin. This is his announcement about Elise Stefanik. This is his announcement about Mike Waltz. And then most recently, that's his announcement about Mike Huckabee. Not sure if you knew that. So you're saying, Barry, where do you get these? Well, unless it comes out of the horse's mouth, everything else is conjecture, isn't it? I mean, you'd have to believe yourself. Trump's a guy who number one, he knows how to play games. If he's going to play games, he's going to make sure he plays the game the right way. So let me just show you this, because I think this will really help you. If you haven't followed Trump on Truth Social, I would suggest you follow Trump on Truth Social. Where's the page? Let me pull this up. All right. This is Trump's Truth Social page. And an hour ago, he announced that, let me go ahead and make this bigger so you guys can see it better. An hour ago, he announced that Mike Huckabee will be the United States ambassador to Israel. There it is, right there. Statement from President Donald J. Trump. I am pleased to announce that the highly respected former governor of Arkansas, Mike Huckabee, has been nominated to be the United States ambassador to Israel. Prior to that, I am honored to announce that the Congressman Mike Waltz is hereby appointed to serve in my cabinet as my national security advisor. Mike is a first Green Beret to have been elected to Congress and previously served in the White House and the Pentagon. There's his statement. Then there's a video, and then there's another video, and then another video, and then here's his statement about Elise Stefanik. Elise Stefanik is going to be serving my cabinet as United States ambassador to the United Nations. Okay. And then here's his announcement about Lee Zeldin. Lee Zeldin, respected former congressman, is going to be the administrator for the EPA. Right? Right. That's it. There's nothing on his True Social. Nothing about Kristi Noem. There's nothing about Marco Rubio. That's it. Everybody's out there talking, oh, Marco Rubio's secretary. There's even talk right now about who's taking Marco Rubio's place as Senator of Florida. Hey, we should make Laura Trump the Senator of Florida. Why? Because Marco Rubio is going to be Secretary of State. Really? I'd like him to be. I think he'd be good. I posted a picture and said, yeah, I'd be down with him being Secretary of State. But Trump hasn't said that's his man yet. Hasn't mentioned it. So where is all this coming from? Where did anything come from Kristi Noem being named Homeland Security? There's all kinds of conversations happening about it. Oh, and I'm like, you can just go to the man's page and just see. You don't have to wonder. Because it's probably a honeypot, a canary in a coal mine. Trump is trying to keep ranks close, and he may have told somebody, yeah, I think Marco Rubio should be our pick. Yeah, what do you think? Yeah, okay. And you sit back, and when it hits the news, you know who told them. How is this all over X? How is CNN picking this up? How does everybody know that Marco Rubio is coming forward and going to be the Secretary of State? I don't know. Maybe even Trump put it out there. Blue Star likes Marco Rubio because he wanted to do a trial balloon. I don't know. But what I do know is as of right now, at 3:43, as you're watching this, right now, Marco Rubio has not been nominated to be Secretary of State. Right now, as you're watching this video, Kristi Noem has not been nominated to be Homeland Security, Director of Homeland Security. It's complete fake news. Whether it was basically something Trump himself created to cause some buzz, or whether it's somebody else, but as of right now, nope. I just refreshed it. There is nothing on this page. Last one was an hour ago about Mike Huckabee. You know, I heard last night, people were watching our show last night and they were saying, hey, Marco Rubio is it. And I was like, cool. I like Marco. Down here from Florida. Got to meet him. But then I was like, well, the big man didn't say that. Where's everybody getting this information? Trump is playing 3D chess. He is messing with people's heads right now. He is trying to find out where things are. Like I said, for either he's looking for the leakers or he's the leaker. Trying to see what people think about different things. Okay, let's go ahead and let him know that Marco Rubio is going to be, the Secretary of State. Let's see what the feedback is. Let's get a national forum on what people think about Marco Rubio. And so immediately people fell for it. one way or the other, and they started talking about, Marco Rubio and should he be the Secretary of State, and then this surfaced.
To choose him because he represents the neocon warmongering establishment of Washington, D.C., which stands diametrically opposed to the very policies.
So she created this video when Trump was considering, or there was rumor that Marco might be the vice president. And so Tulsi had put out this video. And now this resurfaced today.
That President Trump has always stood for, going all the way back to when he ran for president in 2016 through that first term in office, and the things that he's talking about wanting to do now. And it would send the wrong message to a lot of folks who are very concerned about the fact that we are on the brink of war with Russia and China and Iran and North Korea. If Marco Rubio is his vice president, then that is what we will face, and it will cause a lot of people to question what kind of foreign policy will actually be executed. Will it be the one that Trump wants and stands for, or will it be one that will continue the deep state neocon warmongers who've gotten us into the mess that we are in now?
So that popped up, and I'm thinking, okay, does Tulsi know something? Why did they put that out today? Somebody, I think Megyn Kelly had interviewed her and put that out there. Who knows? I don't know. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Many of you guys know who Eric Prince is. Eric Prince is the CEO, founder of Blackwater, not to be confused with BlackRock. Blackwater is a paramilitary security company that you don't want to mess with them. A bunch of Navy SEALs and guys that go over to foreign countries and take care of business covertly. And this guy knows a little bit about recess appointments, and let you listen to his.
November, year of our Lord 2024.
Veterans Day.
Veterans Day, the 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th month, the guns went silent. And I'm here with one of my favorite veterans. Going to Senate, talk to the folks tonight. Talk to me about President Trump, the guidance for the transition team. I know you're close to a lot of people. This whole fight we're having in the Senate now for recess appointments. Tell the audience, what is the importance of President Trump having the option to have recess appointments?
First of all, it's very important for him to have the option to grant security clearances by himself and to have a vetting system done, because last time, 8 years ago, the deep state completely slow-rolled and blocked people they didn't want from ever getting a clearance, not because they shouldn't have had a clearance, just because the deep state didn't want them. But second, the Senate can do all kinds of fluctuations and gyrations to slow-roll candidates to prevent people from actually getting in and running the government. So President Trump needs to have the recess appointment ability to staff the government and to run it, and to actually get after shrinking it, cutting back the bureaucracy, and all the things that President Trump campaigned on. You have to be able to enact.
So in other words, it's not just getting people nominated, it's cutting people as well, which is probably what Mitch McConnell is all worried about. That using these recess appointments, and I guess I would call them recess deappointments, taking people off the rolls, is something Trump wants to do, and he wants to do it expeditiously. And these guys are like freaking out.
Would you, if President Trump talked to you, would you go be Secretary of Defense or head of the CIA?
If the president,
speaking of recess appointments,
if the president actually asked me to do that, sure. I served the military. I swore to defend the Constitution. If the president asked you to do something, I'll do it.
Yeah, that guy would be awesome. Awesome to be there. So now you've got a really good handle, I hope, on recess appointments and why they're important. And also why some people fear it. Because it causes a lot of trepidation in all the right people. The media, the deep staters, all of them. They know they're in trouble. And so it explains why Mitch McConnell is trying to do this thing covertly with the secret ballots and do whatever he can right now, right out the gate, to stop Trump. Right off the bat, the first thing I can do is throw a monkey wrench in between the spokes of the wheel and hopefully this wheel won't be able to move so fast. You won't be able to stop him, but it's amazing to me that right now, the impediment to Trump isn't the Democrats. I think he knew this. I think many of you knew this was going to be how it was going to turn out. But it's not the Democrats who can stop Trump at this point. They're feckless. They've used all their lawfare. They got destroyed. They don't have the House. They don't have the Senate. So now the deep state's like, you guys are going to have to do it. Speaking to the Republicans, we don't have anything else we can do other than what we did on July 13th. We can still try that. But in any event, we got no more lawfare. The Democrats got butt stomped. Y'all got to fix it. You need to fix it. And what I'm going to show you next is probably going to really let you know how much they're really freaking. But let me take a second and take a few comments here. Yep, it's the rhinos. There you go. These are what they're going to be looking to stop Trump. The Democrats are no longer the foe. I think a lot of people need to understand that, who cares what the media says? Who cares what they can't stop him. All they can do is talk shit on TV and, make these big grandiose speeches, but they're no threat. He's eliminated them. And so the deep state knows this, and they're saying, you guys got to do it. Mitch, yeah, we know what you've done, Mitch. You got to take him out, or at least slow him down. It's the rhinos, the warmongers. Yeah, absolutely. You guys all know it. Bingo. Yeah. The rhinos were all cultists that have a circle of power for the demise of America. There you go. That's it. 100%. It's all of them. What about Kennedy? A lot of people, this is why, I guess you guys are arguing with somebody who's a troll here. A lot of people at this point are really concerned because of the fact of you didn't think this was going to be the impediment. They didn't realize that it was going to be the Democrats, the Republicans, who were going to cause the problem. I have to believe Trump knew that. I think when he was saying too big to rig and just blow these people out the water, he had to know his next line of battle was going to be against these entrenched rhinos. And so now he knows he's got enough power, but he's going to have to do something to get, Mitch McConnell is leaving, but Thune and Cornyn, you got to get rid of them. You got to have somebody like Rick Scott. The pressure has to be maximum right now because what they have in store for Trump, I'll just let you listen to this. Now, understand this is Natasha Bertrand from CNN, who is speaking to people, obviously in the deep state, and they're telling her what they're going to do.
For defense officials here who we've spoken to, of course, is how Trump is going to wield U.S. military power here at home. Is he going to make good on his previous pledges to potentially deploy active duty U.S. troops to American cities to engage in domestic law enforcement and to help with his mass deportation plan? That is something that officials here have been discussing in terms of how they would actually respond to that. What would a response look like if the president were to actually order active duty troops to these cities to...
I've never been in the military. My brother is a colonel. Many of you watching have been in the military. What's your response if you're in the military to an order given to you by the commander-in-chief? What response is she talking about? Well, let's discuss what we're going to have our response. That alone is treason. You don't get a response. Go walk the dog, and that's an order. The fact that she said I went, you realize what you just said on the air? You just said that the military-industrial complex, that people you've spoken to, are sitting around plotting what their response is going to be to Trump. There's only one response. Yes, sir. That's it. I'd love to hear some of you guys in here who've been in the military. What other response could they possibly give and not end themselves up in jail? Because what you're saying right now, whoever your sources are, you are saying that these people are willing to go to jail to defy Donald Trump. They are willing to be court-martialed. They are really willing to go to Gitmo or wherever else. They're sitting around thinking about what their response is. I'm pretty sure I never went to West Point. My brother did. I should call him. Hey, listen, when the commander-in-chief gives you an order, do you have to sit back and wonder what your response is going to be? You guys have a meeting first? Wait a minute. He told us to go do this. Well, what should we tell him? Tell him we ain't doing it. Oh, okay. We ain't doing it. Said no one in the military ever, or not for long. I mean, I would love for somebody to tell. I'm looking to see if any of you guys here. Yeah, yes, sir. Another response is court-martial and Leavenworth prison. What are you talking about? I never heard such insanity. That the people in the military who will be answering to the president are sitting around trying to think of what their response should be. Good luck with that.
Engage in this kind of domestic law enforcement. And if he did, a former senior military official who served under Trump said that would be very significant. It is not something that the president would be able to necessarily water down to the American people. It would be, quote, a very big deal. And another thing that officials here are gaming out is, of course, what is going to happen if Donald Trump reinstates an executive order known as Schedule F, which would essentially reclassify a large amount of apolitical civilian employees across the federal government, including here at the Pentagon, and allow them to be more easily fireable. That is something that...
So, the people who answered directly to the president, based on your reporting and sources, are gaming out what they're going to do when they're given a direct effing order? They're telling you that? And you're repeating this on CNN? Yeah, so the people I've been talking about, they've been gaming out scenarios. What? What? Do you realize, Missy, that you're basically putting a target on every single one of these people that you happen to talk to? You do realize at this point that people can basically subpoena you, and you're like, I don't give up my sources. Okay, what's your phone number? We'll figure it out. Who have you been talking to? You think that people can sit around and game, put together some strategy, war game, what they're going to do when the president says this or that? Tell me you're not that stupid. Tell me the people you're talking to didn't say that to you, that they weren't that stupid to tell some lackey from CNN. So we're gaming out our strategy here, so when Trump tells us to do something, we can figure out how to counter him. Wow. And now you're talking about the Schedule F. They're worried about that. They're worried about getting fired. No wonder. Think about that. You're pronouncing to the world that the military is infected with insubordination. Everybody sitting there, every leader anyways, should be thinking, when's he going to call me in for my meeting? That's the only time, if he allows you, that is the only time for you to have a discussion. All right, General X, Y, and Z. Okay, here's my plan. Here's what we're going to do. May I say something, sir? Please speak. Well, I think we should do this and do that and do this and not do this and do that. Okay, I've heard you. Do this. See, I'll let you speak. I mean, you've earned the right so what's your opinion? What do you need to tell me? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Thank you. I value what you said. Do it. That's it. That's the conversation. That is any of you who have even run businesses, you may listen to your manager or director, but when he's done speaking, you're like, well, I've taken under what you said under advisement. Now go do what I told you. Or not. There you go. Don't let it hit you. I've never heard people in the news be so stupid to go out and basically admit to the world, that there's people in the military that she speaks to who are openly talking about being insubordinate and borderline treasonous. You're gaming out a scenario? You can kiss my...
Defense officials here are scrambling to address before he enters office, trying to kind of whittle down the list of people who would be at risk of being moved into that category, because of course they're trying to create, as minimal of a disruption as possible to the day-to-day operations here. But clearly they are concerned. They're having these conversations about whether there would be resignations, for example, if an unlawful order were issued, and importantly, what the chain of command would look like if Trump did issue that kind of order to deploy those active duty forces.
You're wondering what the chain of command would look like. I'm not in the military, but I'm pretty sure you're staring at the chain of command. I'm pretty effing sure that the orange man walking into the room is your chain of command. There's nobody else. There's nobody behind him. The orange man walks into the room and goes, "How you doing, General Smith?" Yes. There's no, "Well, can I talk to your boss?" No, there is no boss. I'm the boss. Me. Oh, yeah. There's nothing else you can do. We're seeing basically why Trump needs to tear down our government. If military officials, if it really happened, if they really spoke to this woman from CNN and they spoke to her, "Hey, don't tell anybody it was me, but if Trump says this, we're going to have a game plan." Can I say that? Yeah, let him know we're planning. Oh God. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine that somebody told her, "Oh yeah, we're planning." I feel like a student in the classroom learning about politics. Somebody said Trump is the top of the chain. What are you talking about? That's one of the reasons why I don't think she has a source. Because I'm thinking to myself, nobody who's in the military, no one, I don't care how many plates of ribbons and stuff you have on your chest, there's nobody in the military who says, we have to figure out the chain of command. That's something she had to have made up. I can't even fathom that there would be people stupid enough in the military to say that we're going to check out what the chain of command is here. The dude lives in the White House, okay? This isn't Joe. See, that might be the problem. They may realize, hey, when Dementia Joe was here, we didn't talk to him. We're talking to this person over here. Joe, just go eat some cookies and oatmeal. Okay, what do we want us to do? See, y'all forgot, that's not how shit runs. The chain of command. I mean, I'm joking, but I'm serious because it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Good Lord. Unconstitutional orders are treasonous to follow, Barry. Of course. Unconstitutional order. I'm sorry, General Smith. Are you a constitutional expert right now? Are you prepared to lay your entire career and your livelihood and your freedom on the line by challenging my constitutionality? You want to be that person? I mean, sure, you can really call somebody real quick. Hey, man, he's telling me to do this. I can't do it. That might be one of the worst comments I've ever seen, unconstitutional orders. So you're, just so I understand here, you're worried that the man who's gone through, 15 trials, been arrested on 34 felony indictments, has been sued here, blah, 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 blah. You think that person who knows they're ready to pounce on anything he does, give him a reason. You think that person hasn't spent the last couple years putting his plan together. You don't think he's looked at every constitutional aspect of everything he has planned. He looked up a 1798 law. A law from 1798. Somebody said to him, hey, sir, I found it. It's right here, 1798. There's this law that says we can basically get all these. He found it. Somebody gave it to him. And you're thinking that he's going to give the military unconstitutional orders? Dude, you ain't giving the man enough credit. He's coming armed for bear. He's coming ready to just lay these people naked, destroy them. Correct, outside of martial law, and a marshal is appointed. Yeah, it's crazy. Millie, I don't know what you guys are talking about. DOD 5240, military can be used to support civilian police. That's the thing. I don't think enough people who are talking this crap understand he's going to put a team around him. And every person in this team who's going to be in this vertical and this vertical with environmental, defense, treasury, aren't already clued in with the best possible legal aspect of the Constitution before they even take their oath of office. If you think that, then you're not paying attention. You're not understanding this man went through hell in addition to what he went through on July 13th, and doesn't realize if I don't cross my T correctly, they're going to come after me. If I put the dot on the I a little bit too far to the right, they're going to come after me. So in order for me to make sure I don't have that issue going forward, I know there's going to be some frivolous stuff, but to make sure that they don't have the ability to do anything, I'm going to have my ducks in order. And on top of that, I'm going to have the right people to work with. You see, I know some people, and I'm going to have them work with me, and they're going to basically make sure that everything I do is to the letter. And it should make you guys afraid. So I want you to listen to none other than somebody else who's been rumored. You've heard the rumors about Kash Patel being the CIA director. Again, there's nothing on Trump's website that has said that, so I don't know why it's, quote, rumored to be. But if he were, he's ready.
You need a 24/7 declassification office, whatever you want to call it. Transparency, truth, whatever, I don't care. Sits in the White House, reports directly to you, and you take incoming from the United States of America. I want JFK. I want the 9/11 files. I want this. I want that. All the FBI, and this is a tool, this is something we didn't cover. What the deep state uses the most to cover up their corruption is an illegal application of the classification system. Remember the Lovebirds text from, this is a beauty.
So he's going to get into something, and notice he's already dug into this. He's already dug into what's illegal and what's not.
Lovebirds text from FBI, DOJ land, Russiagate, Strzok and Page were texting each other. They were running the Russiagate investigation against Trump. They were the head of the counterintelligence unit at the FBI. And they're having an extramarital affair together. Can't make this stuff up. They're sending each other texts about how much they hate Trump and are going to create an insurance policy to stop Trump. Then we finally find those text messages. You know what the FBI and DOJ do for like a year? Redact them to congressional investigators and congressional men and women running the oversight of their agency. That's just one example. But it gets even better. Here's the deep state full circle. Just last week, do you know what Strzok and Page received from the Department of Justice? What? A $1.5 million payout to settle a lawsuit that Strzok and Page brought for the improper disclosure of their personal text messages on FBI phones. And the DOJ just rewarded them. They broke the law. They broke the chain of command. They broke every regulation there is in the FBI. They weaponized the system of justice against a political target they hated. We found those text messages, and we got them declassified finally in full when I became Deputy Director of National Intelligence. And the world has now seen them, and they can read them. And that's the best form of transparency. That's why I want this 24/7 declassification office. Don't have me regurgitate it to you. Read it.
See, I think a lot of people need to read it. I think a lot of people need to edify themselves. I think a lot of people need to educate themselves. Understand what happened over the last 8 years to get us to this point. Because there's a lot of people who are clouded by ignorance, because they weren't paying attention to what happened and what the remedy for that should be.
Get the documents, get the files, get the memos. But the deep state came full circle and gave these guys a payday for rigging a presidential election and breaking the law. So now you know what happens. That's step one. Step two, get America the truth. And that's what that office would be for.
Get America the truth. All right, so this guy or woman, Viper, says Barry is calling for dictator stuff here. You silly, silly person. I mean, you silly, silly person. You basically are lucky that Trump got elected, because the people who were looking at dictator stuff just got their ass smacked running against him. They're the ones who told you what you can say, and these people played along. They're the ones who were going to tell you whether or not you can have a gas stove. They're the ones who were going to tell you to live in the pod and eat the bugs. They're the ones who were going to restrict where you could go and where you could drive. They're the ones who were going to put you in a 15-minute city. Go look it up. That's dictatorship stuff. What Trump is going to do is come in with people like Kash Patel, if he should be there, and with the military, and basically use the Constitution, not lawfare, use the Constitution to guide him to where he wants to go. There's nothing I've said that is not constitutional. I'm not talking about habeas corpus and commis patitatis, whatever that's called. No. There are certain things that the government can do, which they've done, already in the last couple of years, that you obviously are okay with. I don't know, did you do that because somebody told you you had to? I don't know, be honest. Did you? You know what I'm talking about. You know, that's dictator stuff. Hey, you either do this or you're fired. Interesting. You got to take it or you're fired. You want to go into some dictator stuff? Everything I just said, you try to find a way to rationalize that. See, you're afraid of the truth. You're afraid of things being exposed. You're afraid of a file from 1963 in November being let out. You're afraid of something from September 11th being let out to the public. You're afraid of a couple of things in 1968 being let out. You're afraid of people who have already broken the law being caught. I think they do that every single day, if I'm not mistaken. I think they even made a show. I think there was a show called Most Wanted. I think you can call Dog the Bounty Hunter and they'll kick in your door and pull you out if you skip bail. So Trump saying, I'm going to use the military, and you're misconstruing things because I'm going to tell you how you effed up. You effed up because you think he's using the military against people who are supposed to be here. You see, all that stuff is about, basically being against people who are from here, who live here. There is no law being broken about chasing down criminals. Consider yourself edified since you think you can just come in here and say, oh, Barry's being a dictator stuff. No, the man's enforcing the law. The dictator was the one who just said, y'all can all come in. In fact, we're going to fly y'all in. Oh, in fact, we're going to give you American dollars from taxpayers and let you go around the country and do whatever you want to do. Your perspective is wrong, man. Yeah, your perspective is the thinking that he's using the military against American. That's not it at all. That's not it at all. If you have to enforce the law because there are an overabundance of criminals running wild, That's just his first order of business. First order of business is for the president to protect America. Somehow you lost that. Our citizenry here deserves that. You see, a lot of people, you can go on shows and you can comment and you don't think anyone's going to signal you out, but if I happen to look over and just look and see something, I may respond. Especially when you say I'm supporting a dictator. I just told you, my father came here from another country, way back in 1940-something. Opened a business, prospered, joined the military. My brothers went to West Point. I know what a dictator is, and I know what an American is. Maybe you've kind of just melded them all. You think, oh, they're here. You can't use that law against citizens. Go look at the law. Go look at the law. It says citizens. The U.S. military cannot be used to do certain things against American citizens. It does not say the U.S. military cannot be used to enforce the border and people who have criminally entered the country. You want to go look at it, go ahead and wait. I'm going to move on here, but you can go ahead and go look it up. Because, damn, you're wrong. So anyway, hope that Kash Patel part really got you thinking. So Kash Patel had something else to say when he was on Bannon's show. Listen to this.
I know you're probably going to be head of the CIA, but do you believe that you can deliver the goods on this in a pretty short order the first couple of months so we can get rolling on prosecutions?
Yes, we got the bench for it, Bannon, and you know those guys. I'm not going to go out there and say their names right now so the radical left-wing media can terrorize them. The one thing we learned in the Trump administration the first go-around is we got to put in all-America patriots top to bottom. And we got them for law enforcement. We got them for intel collection. We got them for offensive operations. We got them for DOD, CIA, everywhere. And the one thing we will do that they never will do is we will follow the facts and the law and go to courts of law and correct these justices and lawyers who have been prosecuting these cases based on politics and actually issuing them as lawfare. We will.
See, that's the correction is what's coming. The guy Viper asked me, he goes, why do you say blindly follow or lead? Why do you say blindly follow or leave? Because that's what you signed up for. See, I don't know how old you are. I don't know your background. But in this country, when you sign up to go into the military, you sign up to follow the chain of command. Your ass is mine. You belong to me. You ever seen any drill sergeants in movies? What's the first thing they say? I don't know what you thought you were talking about, but right now, I own your ass. There is nothing. If you want to go from the drill sergeant, if you got a problem with the drill sergeant, maybe you might go to, the lieutenant. And the lieutenant may go to the colonel. You can just keep going up. But when you get to here, there's nothing else above you. So at that point, when he tells you to do something, yes, you either do it or leave. It's not blindly. See, I don't know what your comment means, blindly. You signed up for that. You signed up to understand, to follow the instructions of the commander-in-chief. If you don't want to, quote, blindly follow the commander-in-chief, don't friggin' sign up. It's that simple. Hey, I got into something, I didn't really know what it was all about. I'm out. Well, wait a minute, you can't leave. It doesn't work that way. This isn't a store. You don't get to come in and shop for a while and leave. You signed up, I own your ass. So what do you want to do? Maybe we can give you a dishonorable discharge or something, but you can't leave. You just can't walk off the base and say, I'm done. No, that'll land you up in the pokey. You obviously don't understand, and I hope a lot of people understand, the military only works. It only facilitates peace because people follow orders. Now, like you said, an unconstitutional order, or an order that is, not supposed to be given, that could be something that people can, call the JAG or someone to file a complaint. Yes. But Nicholson said, you follow orders or people die. You don't have the ability to reason. If you think the order is bad, you make a complaint and run it up, to the JAG or whoever else is going to look at it. But right then and there, yeah, you follow the order or people die. Go see the movie. They gave the code red. That was bad. They murdered a kid. Right? That was bad. He gave the order, but the kid still did it because he followed the order. They're not asking permission. Hey, do you mind, going over there and sweeping up that pile? No, that's not how it works, man. You might want to talk to some people in the military. Get over there and dig that ditch. Now. Oh, wait a minute. Don't turn around. What? I didn't hear you. Yes, sir. Now you can go. Listen to Kash Patel explain it.
Go out and find the conspirators, not just in government, but in the media. Yes, we're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens, who helped Joe Biden rig presidential elections. We're going to come after you. Whether it's criminally or civilly, we'll figure that out. But yeah, we're putting you all on notice. And Steve, this is why they hate us. This is why we're tyrannical. This is why we're dictators. Because we're actually going to use the Constitution to prosecute them for crimes they said we have always been guilty of. But
see, that's why. Somebody asked, why am I entertaining Viper? I knew this was coming up. I knew what he was saying was leading into what Kash Patel was going to say. You guys always accuse us of being dictators and, authoritarians and everything else. And what he just said, what you're really afraid of, is us disclosing to the American people and showing that you are actually it. Kash Patel guy's brilliant.
Never have.
Use the Constitution to protect the Constitution in this constitutional republic.
Use the Constitution to protect the Constitution in this constitutional republic. So understand, I was glad that guy Viper said something, because I could use it to set up what this piece was about.
I think one of the fears I'm hearing, because you know when they're afraid, is that they understand that, hey, we have the receipts. We know exactly what they did. We know exactly who did it. We've sent them the letters to say, hold your papers, don't destroy your emails, don't destroy your servers, because there are going to be prosecutions after this. They just have to understand something. You have broken the law, you've imprisoned people illegally, you've done things in Ukraine and other places that are completely illegal, you've started these wars, and you're going to be held accountable. They don't like it. They've never had accountability, and this is why they're in panic mode. Now,
that is truly the answer to all of this. Forget, the immigration. Forget, it's all smokescreen. They're terrified because Trump is playing with them like babies play with their food. They have nothing they can do at this point. It's over. They've got all the documentation. All he just needed to win and make it too big to rig and get the House and Senate. He told you in every rally, we got to get the whole thing. We get the whole shebang. It's over. And you guys delivered. You delivered the House. You delivered the Senate. You delivered the White House. And now he wants these recess appointments, which I think he will get. And then you're going to see fireworks go off like you haven't seen in a while.
I want the Morning Joe producers that watch us and all the producers that watch us. This is just not rhetoric. We're absolutely dead serious. We're not. You cannot have a constitutional republic and allow what these deep staters have done to the country. The deep state, the administrative state, the fourth branch of government, never mentioned in the Constitution, is going to be taken apart brick by brick. And the people that did these evil deeds will be held accountable and prosecuted, criminal prosecutions.
They are prepping Russiagate 27.0 right now. It is our job to find out what it is and stop them. No one in the United States government is going to do that for us. It's up to us civilians. We got to marshal the clans here.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm looking at this comment here, and it says, I'm not on Viper's side by any means, but someone has added to the Constitution that our military can take action on the citizens of America. But that's not what Trump is saying. That's not at all what Trump is talking about. Trump is talking about enforcing the Constitution on people who have crossed into this country. He hasn't said anything about military with anything about citizens. It's all Newcomers. That's it. Now, what may happen are certain municipalities that decide they don't want to follow the law. They have decided they're going to go against things. I mean, I've heard something, the LA sheriff or somebody out there said that, they're not going to do it. They're not going to deport or help ICE or anybody else with deportations. I'm pretty sure Tom Homan knows what he's going to be doing. If they have to hire more people, they'll just bypass them. It's very simple. I don't understand why people have any problem with this, unless, of course, you're a troll. But that could be it too. So let me just check something before I go into close here. I'm checking to see. Nope. All right. Just so you know, and before we do anything, it is now 4:25, and as of 4:25, 2 hours ago is the last post from Trump. I am pleased to announce that the highly respected former governor of Arkansas, Mike Huckabee, has been nominated to the United States ambassador to Israel. If you notice the people who got named, Zeldin, Stefanik, Huckabee, Waltz, there was no rumors about them. There was nothing going on where they were saying, hey, listen, I heard that Mike Waltz is going to be this. Hey, I heard that, at least nothing. So I have to feel at this point Trump is playing some sort of chess match. And I don't know who his opponents are. Maybe it's the Senate. But he's not really showing everything. And he's watching what's happening. Sitting back and seeing people react to Kristi Noem, which I never knew she was going to be, wouldn't even think about her as the Homeland Security. I think it's going to be somebody with a little bit more teeth. A lot more bark in their bite than Kristi Noem. As for Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, I think Marco would be good. I think he could talk to, basically these other countries, and he's been a senator. I think he'd be good, but there's some people that think he's a rhino. But in any event, you can take away from here at 4:30, Marco Rubio has not been named to anything by Trump. Everything you're seeing everywhere else is complete conjecture. How do you know? He hasn't announced it. Everything you're hearing about Kristi Noem is conjecture. How do you know? He hasn't posted it. Until he actually says, that's my person, everything else is people squirrels trying to be nuts and get clicks. I don't know. I'm never going to say I know. I'm never going to say I've got a source. The only source I have is when it shows up there. And if it shows up there, then I can report on it. But until then, enjoy the show, because at this point, this man is being extremely methodical. He knows who the enemies are. He knows what he has to do to circumvent these enemies, and he's going to do it by the book with the right people helping him along the way. The media, you can tell they're clueless. They're absolutely clueless. They keep focusing on Elon Musk for some reason. Elon Musk. This is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So let me take a few comments. Hopefully it won't be from Viper anymore. Legit question, Homan named. What do you mean? Legit question, Homan named? Barry didn't mention it earlier. I mentioned it yesterday. It's a different show. Different show. And yes, Homan was named. Let me find it for you. Where is it? There's some stuff you can actually do yourself, Let me find it. Stand by. Wait a minute. Also, you notice that he said that Nikki Haley and Pompeo would not be part of the whole thing. So I could scroll, but I take up too much time here. But yes, Trump did announce it. Everyone, legit question, everything. Enough with Viper. Can't take anymore. He's taking up all of it. Everybody's in here. Viper was making a point, but mods should be neutral. Chill. They use going after political opponents as a safeguard so people like Viper can defend them. I don't know about Viper. I'm not going to get hung up on that, but political opponents is definitely a code word. Anyone who has done something, they are considering going after your political opponents. And as I mentioned yesterday, the biggest thing with me is you can't go after anybody. You have to have an investigation. An investigation, because there's a crime that looks like it occurred, there's nothing wrong with that. They open investigations over everything. They're saying preserve your documents. Preserve your documents, and so we can begin looking. Something doesn't make any sense here. You know there's been whistleblowers. The biggest whistleblower story out there right now is that FEMA was told not to help victims of the hurricane who had Trump memorabilia in the yard. A whistleblower has come forward. It means now there's something to investigate. And as they start digging, they may find a crime. That doesn't mean you're going after your political opponent. Hey, we found this stuff about the laptop. Oh, no, it's fake. You're going after... And it was real. People lied. If anything, the last 4 or 5 years should show you is they're fighting everything to keep everything they've done behind closed doors. They don't want people to know. And so everything that Trump is going to do with his administration is begin just peeling back and looking. There's no harm in looking. Wait till people start looking at where did Kamala spend all this money. You think they should just ignore the fact that she spent $1 billion and is $20 million in debt? And there's all these LLC names, and people are starting now to say, hey, listen, you told a donor this and that, and you spent $100,000 building a set because you didn't want to fly to California. You don't think there's going to be some legal ramifications for what she did with the money? If Trump did that, they'd be looking to him. Matter of fact, they did. That's where the entire Stormy Daniels thing came from. They said it was a campaign finance violation. So, yeah, they're going to look. And if there's fire behind the smoke, that's when you basically commit the press charges against people. But are you telling me, and those of you here in the media, that you shouldn't even look? If there's suspicion that something doesn't add up, you're saying don't even look? I don't want to live in that country. I want to know that everything was above board. I think everything in government should be completely transparent. I want to know how Nancy was doing all these trades. You're saying we shouldn't even look? You don't think that's out of the ordinary? I am so sick of people who think that things should be off. It's off. Don't touch it. Off limits. Don't touch it. Why? Don't even look. You've been conditioned by a media. You've been told by the media that this is a story and you don't have to see anything else. And anything you do beyond that is you going after your opponent. Really? Really? Is that what you're saying? Where'd all this money go to Zelensky? You seen an accountant from it? So you're saying it's wrong to ask for an accounting of that money? Hear about this one. I've mentioned this a few times over the last few months. I want somebody to tell me what happened to $2 trillion of money that here it is, Pentagon. Yeah. Let me just put this over here. The Pentagon can't account for 63% of nearly $4 trillion in assets. Or rather, let me just break down the math to you. About $2 trillion they can't account for. You don't even want anyone to look? By saying, hey, we don't know where $2 trillion went, what do you mean? How did you lose $2 trillion? It had to have gone somewhere. You're telling me we shouldn't even look to where this $2 trillion went? We shouldn't look what happened to 325,000 kids. Oh, no. That's going after your opponent. Did you put these kids at risk? What did you do with them? Where are they? Oh, we shouldn't look. That's going after our opponent. I'm pretty sure every parent of every one of those kids is wondering what happened to their kid. 325, maybe 350, maybe 500,000 kids are gone, and we shouldn't even look because that's going after your opponent? I think everybody deserves to know where are these kids. Oh, wait a minute. Did you fly to this island or go to one of these freak-off parties? Oh, don't look there. There might be some names that show up. That's going after your opponent. You see, it doesn't make any sense when people say that, going after your opponent. If you didn't do anything, if you didn't go to that island and partake in any of the things that they offered, why not look? You put the woman in jail who was his business partner, but you never even charged anyone they actually did business with. How is that possible? How is it possible that people were crisscrossing, going to this island, hanging out with this dude, doing everything they want to, and the only person you charged was the person making basically travel arrangements and goodie arrangements? Nobody else. Think about that. I'll wait for an answer to that. And now you've got Diddy in jail, and you're accusing him of whatever, but don't want to look at the people who went there to see what they were doing. And I think the entire country needs to take a chill pill and another pill called the red pill. I think you need to really grasp the fact that there's some things that have happened in this country that you aren't aware of, and that you don't think you want to know, and then you're worried about what happens. Go ahead and take that red pill. Go ahead and start asking questions as to what really happened. See, it worked in 1963. They put a nice little bow on it, stuck it in a box, and said nobody can look at this for the next, 100 years? Nobody. Why not? Why can't we see who was involved? And then they did the same thing with 9/11. Let's put a nice bow on it, put it in a box. Nobody, you're not worthy of seeing the information. Really? No. And then July 13th happens. What do you mean? We watched it live in front of us. And we're not allowed to even discuss what happened and who might have been involved and what kind of... The dude was on a cell phone. Just think of this. I'm not going to belabor the point. I'm just trying to give you instances. There's a picture with the guy on a cell phone right before whatever happened on July 13th. And nobody has yet dug in and told us, who was he talking to? Who is he sending messages to? I don't know. But you're telling me we shouldn't even look because somebody's name might be on that phone? That, whoa, we don't want that name out there. These planes are flying in loaded with newcomers, just coming back and forth. Who are the organizations who were getting paid to do all this stuff? How much were they getting paid? Where was the money coming from? No, we don't want to look there. Wake up, people. If you voted for Trump, you voted to find out all this. If you voted for Trump, you voted for him to go start digging. You know, he said many, many times, we have to know what's going on. We need to get the newcomers out, and we need to start being transparent with the American people. If you're not ready for transparency, you shouldn't have voted for him. I can't wait. I can't wait to see the media corruption. And here's a little hint for you. I'm going to cover it at 7 o'clock show tonight. You can already see what's going on with the media. You can already see less than 7 days what's happening in the media. The higher-ups, the corporations that own these stations, are cleaning flipping house. They know. Ooh, yeah, we're gonna have to change all this. We don't know who this person was who was getting fed inside information, who was saying this stuff. They're cleaning house. We're gonna cover that at 7 p.m. You'll be amazed at what's happening within the media. So I don't know what's going on here. You guys can all talk, but it is what it is, and I don't have any problem. I don't want to keep going because people are like just keep doing. And I don't know. I see you guys are all talking about it together. Let's move on. I agree. The concern is very simple. The laws about everyone's worried about dictatorship is against citizens, American citizens. There is not a single law that says that the commander-in-chief cannot go after people who broke the law based upon an immigration basis. That's why he's talking about this 1798. In terms of following orders, I just urge you to go talk to someone in the military. Someone who says, yes, if the order is unconstitutional, you don't have to follow it. But unless you know constitutional law, I wouldn't want to be the one to stand up to my commanding officer, hey, I'm not doing this because it's not constitutional. Because if you're wrong, you're done. You're done. So I would, find a consultant, find a JAG, do whatever you need to do, and, do it that way. Okay. Let's see here. I don't even know what y'all talking about at this point. Anyway, let me go do some super chats. I'm not going to get caught down here in the mire with people. The bottom line is, this is the guy I voted for. This is the guy you voted for. And if you didn't want him to do this, you should have thought about it months ago. That's the most important thing to me, is he told you what he was going to do. And now he's doing it. Some people are like, whoa, wait, did you really mean that shit? Yeah, he meant it. He meant it all the way. No, it didn't go sideways. I mean, you guys saw the whole thing. I mean, pretty much I'm at the end of it right now. So let me go into pre-close here. If you'd like to join our group at fanfareshop.org.group, we're rapidly approaching 10,000 patriots in that group who are putting content out and talking about all the kind of things that are happening. So I'd love to have you. And then tonight, like I did last night, we're going to be giving away hoodies. So if you want to enter for a hoodie, go ahead and enter. Go to fanfareshop.org to enter a hoodie. All right. So let me go ahead and take some super chats, and then we can go eat dinner. Michelle in Michigan. Thank you. In my county of Kalamazoo and 3 others in Michigan, uncounted votes were found, flipped 3 or 4 seats to Republican, including a state house seat. And the whole thing going on with what's happened in Arizona with Kerry Lake, a lot of people have asked me, you want to talk about the Kerry Lake thing? I'm like, not yet. Not yet. It's not done. And when it's done, we can talk about it, but who knows? Who knows where that's going to end up? R. Heath says, why the warmonger Marco Rubio? He sponsored a bill barring the president from keeping NATO. Well, maybe he's not. I mean, we haven't seen anything that says he is as of yet, so it may be premature to basically say he is the announcee. Do you think Mayor Adams' newcomers move is being spiteful to Abbott and the right, or does it get closer to the border? I think there's a lot of people right now who don't know what's going to happen. You're dealing with a new guy that's president, and this new guy is coming in, and I think we're going to learn a lot in the next 65, 66 days as he begins putting certain people in certain places. And again, I've said before, I don't want to be the person without a chair when the music stops. So I think Eric Adams is trying to play both sides to the middle. I think he's trying to make it appear as though he doesn't want to deal with the newcomers by taking the money away and everything else, but who knows where that's all going to shake out. It just hit me. Trump is putting together a real life G.I. Joe team. Yes, the cartoon I grew up on. Yeah, you can look and see what he's doing, and I wonder, are people feeling at this point that they weren't sure of what he was going to do? It's not unconstitutional. It's not dictatorship. He's doing it by the book. Absolutely by the book. Prior Navy vet here. There's a time for transparency and a time for a president to keep it close to his vest, because if the American people know, our enemies know. Yeah, and they probably already do know. We don't know. Just another knucklehead, fact checker, martial law, not martial law. Exactly. Joy Roberts, thank you, Barry, for all of it, for all what you do. Thank you very much. What's this one say? I'm retired military, Barry. The Posse Comitatus Act would prevent federal troops being used for domestic reasons. Unlawful, however, states can use their National Guard. And you should follow that out against domestic reasons with immigration issues. That's where it starts getting a little bit different. Is it something the court could look at? Probably. But these people aren't domesticated. I mean, you're almost like, and where he's using this 1798 law, imagine somebody from Russia parachuting into the country and running wild. Now he can use that to go after them. It's not a domestic issue. It is an immigration issue. A foreigner is in our country that has to be rooted out. Watch what Tom Homan does and what he says. Let's see where we're going. Next thing here. Scuba diver, all enemies, foreign and domestic. Yeah. Ours is not to question why. Ours is but to do or die is the proper response. I should call my brother and see what he says too. What cracks me up is the media still thinks it's still with no kids back in high school that started rumors just for their entertainment. That's all they're doing at this point, is starting rumors and trying to figure out what they can get away with at this point and what they can't get away with. Let's see here. From Intrigue Tech, thank you. I'm hoping for Kash Patel to join, maybe for CIA. I'd love to see Kash Patel. Yeah, people are talking about him as CIA, but nothing's been confirmed as of yet. Ingrid, thank you very much. This is from Condition Based. Don't leave out that the actual Senate leadership position is not constitutional. So technically, the position is not even necessary, which is why they've been also saying that J.D. Vance could step in and be the Senate Majority Leader. So there's a number of moves to be made here. And you're going to have people who have all different ideas on what can or can't happen. And I'm putting trust in Trump. I am putting trust that he is already vetted, had the best lawyers to look at what he needs to do, and he's going to surround himself with people who can get it done. I think that's the answer that I would have for everybody. What's it say? Just another knucklehead. Joy Reid, brilliant mind, film studies degree from famous school named Harvard. Yeah, that's all she did. Yeah, 80. Somebody says 88,000 per person to get deported. I don't know where they came up with that number. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know if they're counting everything from the manpower to the. It doesn't make any sense, because once that person is caught, it's like $200-300 for a plane ride. So it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Sherry White, thank you very much. And let's see if I got everybody here. Yeah, Tom Homan is going to be a badass, absolute badass. That man, they should definitely be afraid of that man. Tom Homan, he looks like he strikes fear in everything. All right, that's all I got for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I really do like the spirited conversation. You know, a lot of people won't like that. A lot of people won't go back and forth. I just hope you love it. I hope you heard that guy's point of view and other people's point of view. Some people who I didn't see, I'm sure that had some comments to talk about it. I encourage you to keep discussing things. I know all my shows, you know, I get texts from SB and people who want to talk about things. Keep doing it. And I saw people said he's not a troll, which is fine. I'm fine. I don't mind pushback. I don't mind having conversation. I think that's what the essence of what we should be doing on all podcasts. We're not all going to agree, but I think we do agree we need to see the best for America occur. So I'll see you guys at 7. I'm going to go have some dinner, walk the dog, and then at 7 we'll just have a new show. I'm going to talk about the media and everything they're going through. So thanks for tuning into the 3 o'clock show.